Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andy Cortez coming at you from Valencia, California. That's right, California. Valencia, California. If the NAACP or Derrick Johnson or Kamala Harris or Bill Gates want to come and have a chat with me, you're welcome anytime. All you got to do is hit me up on my Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to have a debate with you. I'll be more than happy to have a podcast with you, and I'll be more than happy to crush you in front of all the American citizens of the United States of America, all 349 million of you. That's the difference between me and everybody else out there. Everyone else out there will sit there and placate you and give you the questions that you want to hear so you can say the answers that you want to give, but not me. I'm going to put you through the ringer, and I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and I'm going to ask you all the serious questions. Like, if you're working for the NAACP and you're Mr. Derrick Johnson, how come you're not out there trying to find out what happened with Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci? How come you're not out there suing the pants off of these guys? Do you want to know why? Because somebody out there probably got paid off. At $60 million per year for the NAACP to be able to get paid per year, and for Derrick Johnson to be able to draw a salary of $832,000 a year plus bonuses, well, somebody's getting paid. Now, when you're getting paid that kind of dollar amount, are you getting paid for your silence? Your complicity in the project or in the COVID-19 cover-up? So now what happens is I'm going to rattle off some names. I'm going to see if you guys can all start to correlate all this together. Bill Gates, Silicon Valley, Dictator Newsom, Governor Pritzker, Governor Tim Walz, Senator Alex Padilla, Senator Adam Schiff, Javier Becerra, Mayor Karen Bass, Chirla, which is pronounced Chirla, the KKK, Southern Poverty Law Center, NAACP, Derrick Johnson, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and the WHO. And don't forget Dr. Fauci with all this. So now what you have to understand is who is running the United States of America. If all these things can be pushed into the forefront and then CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News go out there and cover it all up, meaning they try to subterfuge all the stories and they try to make everything isolated from one versus the other. But it's the biggest conspiracy of all times. So now what happens is the most horrendous human rights violations occurred in the year of 2019 to the year of 2026. And they're still ongoing right now, because now what they're trying to do is suppress the vote in the United States of America so they can turn the United States of America communist. And so people are like, well, dude, Andy, that was a lot of information to digest. It hurts my brain to think that way. It hurts my brain to think that way. That's the reason why they want you guys all sensitive, and they want you guys to be in touch with your emotions, because when things are too hard, you just go, oh, I can't handle it. I need to turn away. And you walk away. So what happens is they make a generation or generations of weak people that can't handle stressful emotions, and they can't handle processed thought. So they just do whatever their bosses tell them to do, or do the bidding of whatever their leaders tell them to do. So a guy like Derrick Johnson that's out there, and he's this highly paid individual, how come he's not out there trying to ask for Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci to be, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for all the travesties against Africa and, the United States of America and the world? This should be the time when the NAACP should be shining. They should be shining heroes of humanity like Martin Luther King was and Malcolm X was. But instead, you're not hearing one peep out of Derrick Johnson, and you're not hearing one peep out of the NAACP. A matter of fact, they're backing Joe Biden and they're backing Kamala Harris, which are the Democrat socialist constructs in the United States of America that are advocating for shots in your arm from Bill Gates. So Bill Gates is out there, and he paid off a lot of prominent figures in the United States of America, whether they're Democrat politicians or whether they're prominent civic leaders, for their silence. So now what happens is you're a civic leader and you're being bought and paid for. What are you now? Well, you're a high-paid slave. If you can be bought for your silence when you know you should be out there reacting to the world and saving the world, then you're a high-paid slave. That's the reason why Hollywood and all the actors in Hollywood aren't out there making their voices heard. They're not out there, saying, hey, man, the NAACP is wrong. Hey, man, Derrick Johnson is wrong. Hey, man, Bill Gates is wrong. Hey, man, somebody take Dr. Fauci and put him in jail. Because what happens is they know that these are historic times, and they know that Dictator Newsom, and they know that Governor Pritzker, and they know that Tim Walz, these are all bad people. These guys are all associated in one way or another with Bill Gates, COVID-19, and China. So people are like, dude, Andy, you know what? You might be an asshole, and you might be like hard to deal with sometimes, but you ain't lying. Every one of these people are directly associated with China. And every one of them are directly associated with hate groups across the United States of America. You got the KKK that's being sponsored by the Democrat Communist Party of the United States of America, that's working with the NAACP and Derrick Johnson. So let's remember what I just said right now. The KKK is working with the Democrat Communist construct, which is known as Southern Poverty Law Center, and the Democrat Communist construct is working with the NAACP and Derrick Johnson so they can help get Kamala Harris elected. And they wouldn't they wouldn't invite President Donald J. Trump or J.D. Vance to any of the NAACP organizational charities or functions. They just wouldn't invite him. So the NAACP is supposed to be non-biased. It's not supposed to be biased towards the Republicans or biased towards the Democrats. But in fact, they're totally biased, and they're always advocating for the Democrat Communist construct. Google it, man. Go out there and chat GTP it and see where Derrick Johnson's alignment is at. And look at the pictures that he's got on his Facebook pages. Hakeem Jeffries are in his photos. Kamala Harris is in his photos. He goes to meet with Joe Biden. Dude, you got the NAACP working with the Democrat Communist construct. And the Democrat Communist construct is working with the KKK and the BLM and the Antifa organization. And you guys think I'm crazy. Dude, I'm not crazy. I'm the only one that put it all together and showed it to you guys. As only Andy Cortez could with all the cartoon characters. And I'll tell you this, guys. All the cartoon characters that you guys saw on my show, they went to the FBI, they went to the White House, they went to the NAACP, and they went to Derrick Johnson. Because I'm waiting to hear from his attorneys. I'm going to love it when I see his attorneys come knocking on my door. Because I'm going to make a circus out of him. It's going to be the Andy Cortez show, circus time with Derrick Johnson and the NAACP. This is way bigger than being a Republican or being a Democrat. This is about civic leaders selling out humanity to Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, and China, and a communist takeover of the United States of America. You think I'm kidding? Think about it. The only people that didn't get vaccinated were the patriots. The only people that didn't get vaccinated were the guys that had half a brain to say, hey, no, man, my body's worth more. Something's going on. Something's weird. Something's not right. But all you guys went out there that took the vaccines, went and followed exactly what Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, and Joe Biden told you to do. So now what's happening is all these things are coming out. You got Dictator Newsom that wants to make a run for president, but he's probably not going to be able to make the run for president. So maybe he's going to make the run as a VP, or maybe he's going to take Senator Adam Schiff's seat in Congress. Because Senator Alex Padilla is his buddy. And Senator Adam Schiff has got dirt from the Russia collusion hoax that he went out there and advocated for. So logically, it would seem that Adam Schiff would be the first one to go because he's had the longest tenure in Congress. And he's also been the one that advocated for the Russia collusion hoax. So you're going to have Dictator Newsom that's going to be out. You're going to have Tim Walz that's probably going to be out. And you're going to have Fat Man Pritzker with his mayor out of Chicago, Illinois, with ties to Derrick Johnson and the NAACP. All you got to go do is look at Derrick Johnson's videos with the mayor of Chicago, and you can see who he's in alignment with. I'm not lying about anything I'm saying. And this video, when I'm done, goes directly to the FBI. It goes directly to the White House. And it goes directly to Derrick Johnson. Because Derrick Johnson's got an issue now. He told all these people, all these young aspiring athletes, that if they didn't fall in line, it was their problem. So how many of these collegiate athletes that were out there either got their careers ended or they took something where they had a heart attack? So now you got a civic leader that's out there by the name of Derrick Johnson and the NAACP that went out there and told all these youth to wear a mask and go parade down the street and go get a shot. And if you didn't do it, well, you weren't Democrat and you weren't American. Look it up. ChatGPT, Google it. Find out for yourself. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that view my stuff. There's a lot of people that are looking at my work. Some people want to see me be successful. Some people want to see me fail. I got news for you guys. If I was going to fail, they would have came knocking on my door a long time ago to come take me away. But instead, what's happening now is I'm opening my own channel. My own channel to make sure that everybody understands exactly what it is that I'm doing is for the betterment of humanity. These are historic times that we're living in, and all the cartoons and all the reels and all the monologues and everything that I'm doing is all going to be archived for thousands and thousands of years, so we don't redo this again in the next 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years from now. So, Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, and Jesus Christ didn't have one penny to their name. They didn't have any technology. All they had was their mind and the will of God to go out there and give their message to the world. So now the NAACP and Derrick Johnson collect $60 million. And Derrick Johnson gets paid $832,000. But is he taking to the airwaves to bring the message to you? Is he going out there and doing a podcast every single day to bring the message to you? Dude, I beat the whole Democrat Party with nothing but a cell phone and a laptop computer, the will of God, and transparency. And these are historic times that everybody has to remember and pay attention to and say that you lived through this with President Donald J. Trump and Andy Cortez and California Gold Productions and Latino Free Minds and Sheriff Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton and J.D. Vance. Because now what's going to happen is, as we go forward through time and space, you're going to start to see that the Democrat Party is going to dissolve. And there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of people that are going to go out there that are going to have to replace the Democrat communist construct of the United States of America. And the United States of America and the world is going to be looking for honest people that are full of integrity, not people that are going to be piping out the same thing where we need to tax the rich and we need to give everybody free medical benefits. The free medical benefits is all about making sure that the next volley of illegal aliens come through and a stronger number of 40 million or an 80 million. So what happens now is you can pack a census because for every 750,000 illegal aliens that you get one extra seat in Congress. So if you get 20 million illegal aliens at 750,000 illegal aliens equaling one extra seat in Congress, you got 26.6 extra seats in Congress. So it behooves the Democrat Party to go out there and get illegal aliens to come into the United States of America. Now, the thing that you guys are going to have to remember is that as the illegal aliens are ousted and they're moved out of the United States of America, and we have robots that will replace the illegal alien workforce that we had, the robots, whether they're 20 million or whether they're 200 million, they don't get to vote in the United States of American elections. They're just servants of humanity in the United States of America, and they have no political bias, whether they're Republican or whether they're Democrat. They don't get to vote because they're not a living human citizen in the United States of America. So now moving forward, only American citizens, living American citizens that are alive, that are sentient beings, will get to vote in United States of American elections moving forward once we pass the Save America Act. So all these things that are happening are all happening in front of you in real time. And unfortunately, CNN, MSNBC, and ABC are very biased, and they're paid for by the Democrat communist construct of the United States of America and entities like Bill Gates and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and entities like Silicon Valley and things like Google and places along those lines that would want to, impede humanity in order to control them and get them to do what they want them to do. So now, obviously, I'm like 4,200 videos in to my show. And I don't fear anybody, and I don't fear anything. And I walk with freedom across the United States of America wherever I want to go, which is something that dictator Newsom can't say that he can do. And it's something that Mayor Karen Bass can't go anywhere in Los Angeles without her bodyguards. I've seen her walk through MacArthur Park. She is visually afraid. She will not walk down Los Angeles streets by herself. She's always got to have her bodyguards with her. That's not freedom. That's not freedom at all. You got people like Kamala Harris that has to have bodyguards at all times because she's a socialist communist construct in the United States of America. She's bad for the USA. And she knows she's so bad for the USA that she has to have bodyguards at all times sponsored by the California Highway Patrol and dictator Newsom. I'm not lying about any of this. This is all true. So now what happens is you got Javier Becerra that's out there running for governor. And Javier Becerra, you're just Gavin Newsom 2.0. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to be anything new. The only thing that you're going to be able to do is you're going to go out there and try to give illegal aliens medical benefits. And you're going to try to be able to open the borders to smuggle more illegal aliens into the United States of America. And all the children that are quote unquote missing throughout the United States of America that are illegal immigrants, you're going to hide them so that way they can grow up to be adults. And then at that particular point in time, maybe they can try to make it through the system and they can become loyal Democrat, communist little voters for the state of California and the United States of America. So you got the Guatemalans that went into Pomona Fairplex, and the congresswoman that's there in the Pomona area, she's Guatemalan as well. Is that a coincidence? The Guatemalan refugees that came in, or immigrants that came in, don't speak Spanish and they don't speak English. So they can't communicate effectively. So if they go with a Spanish-speaking individual, well, maybe they learn Spanish, maybe they don't. But now what happens is those Guatemalan children grow up speaking a Mayan dialect, and they can make a Mayan dialect mafia in the state of California that's controlled by that congresswoman in Pomona. Just like the Somalians made a mafia up there in Minnesota that reported directly to Tim Wally Walls, and they funneled millions and billions of dollars back to Somalia. So what happens now is the Democrat communist construct likes to do a lot of tribal organization because they know that the individual tribes, they won't speak to one another because they have a language barrier. So the Guatemalans won't speak with the Mexicans because they don't speak the same language. And the Afghanistans up in Oregon and Washington won't speak with the Somalians because they don't speak the same language. But they all report back to the Democrat communist construct of the United States of America to be able to enable these criminal organizations to be able to funnel and steal money to the different segments and tribes around the world, so they can help prop up the Democrat communist construct in the United States of America. So Kamala Harris's dad was a socialist communist professor from Jamaica that was not an American citizen. And the mother of Kamala Harris was an Indian from India, which was not a citizen. And they both got together and they made the baby that is Kamala Harris. And that Kamala Harris baby is a socialist communist construct in the United States of America that has become a vice president after she was the worst candidate to choose. And now they want to groom her to be able to run for president of the United States of America, which is going to be a Democrat communist construct to be able to sit at the seat as a president of the United States of America. So now we come to China. And why has China got vested interest in Kamala Harris running for president? Because China enacted the California hotel program where they had Chinese nationals come into the United States of America that were pregnant, artificially inseminated, and they stayed here for a year, gave birth to their baby. Their baby was stamped an American citizen and went back to China to be raised for 20 years in the thousands. So that way in 20 years, they don't go through the American school system. They don't become Americanized. They don't paint their hair pink and they don't paint their hair blue and they don't try to chop off their body parts. They go to China. They learn Chinese. They learn English. They go to the best schools in China, come back to the United States of America, run for mayor, run for governor and win, live here for 15 years, run for president of the United States of America and win. And now you have a Chinese takeover of the United States of America within a 20-year span of time. And Kamala Harris is proof that they can get it done. And this Democrat communist construct that we have, all these names that I named off, they're all in cahoots. It's the largest conspiracy ever in the United States of America. And to be honest with you, I don't know that voting these Democrat communist constructs is going to be enough to get them out. Because then we're just going to have to vote them out again in the next cycle. And then vote them out again in the next cycle. Personally, what I think we need a clean sweep of every Democrat communist construct in the United States of America swept out of the USA. Either they denounce the Democrat Party and they dissolve the Democrat Party and they're gone, or they're out. And then at that particular point in time, we eliminate the Democrat communist construct throughout the United States of America, and it can never reform again because they're all bad. They want to get a hold of our children while they're in elementary school and while they're in junior high school and high school, confuse them about being a boy or a girl, and then have them chop off their body parts and become good little Democrat communist slaves of the United States of America. So that way China could come back and rule over them in 20 years. Always remember that everything that I say and everything that I do comes directly from God to me, to you. And people go, man, Andy, do you really talk to God as much as you think you do? Yeah. Do you know why? God helped build this laptop computer. God helped build the cell phone that I'm working on right now. God helped make this hat. And God helped me be born on the United States of America for this particular point in time. So I could be broadcasting to you right now on this rock with liquid water on it, traveling around a fireball in the middle of our solar system, which is a living miracle. And people go, does God exist? Yeah, man, God exists. Absolutely, he does. And so now people go, well, if Jesus Christ would have been able to videotape himself, I probably would have been listening to Jesus Christ too. And if Mahatma Gandhi could have been able to videotape himself every day and do dialogue, I probably would have listened to Mahatma Gandhi more. And if Mother Teresa could have videotaped herself every single day and left a video journal and an auto journal of what was going on in her life, people would probably listen to her more and more every day. So people go, well, Andy Cortez, are you saying that you have spiritual leadership skills? I don't know. Do I? I'm the only one that's out there that's challenging the Democrat communist construct of the United States of America. I've got pastors and priests and spiritual leaders around the world that won't step up to the microphone and come out and tell you about Kamala Harris. And they won't come out and tell you about Derrick Johnson and the NAACP. And they won't come out and tell you about Bill Gates and Silicon Valley and Dictator Newscomb and Fat Man Pritzker and Tim Wally Walls out of Minnesota. So, I don't know. Spiritual leadership? You be the judge. But at the end of the day, our spiritual leaders aren't out there getting the job done. They're not. They're saying, oh, well, we don't get involved in politics. And, oh, we don't like abortion, but we don't get involved in politics. We don't like the fact that 1 million American citizen fetuses are being aborted every single year. So that's 20 million over 20 years. And we don't like illegal immigration of immigrants coming in the United States of America to replace the 20 million aborted fetuses. So now you have a block of 40 million people that are not voting Republican in the United States of America. People go, what? Dude, Andy's off his rocker. How is that spiritual leadership? Well, if there's 20 million American citizens that are not born, you take 20 million out of the census because they're not born. They just don't exist. Now you replace them with 20 million illegal aliens, and you have a block of 40 million souls that are not voting Republican in the United States of America. Now, how does a block of 40 million make it advantageous for the Democrat Party? Well, it's a huge swing because there's only 38 million people that live in the state of California, and there's only 42 million people in the whole country of Canada. So now if you abort 20 million American citizens over 20 years and you replace them with 20 million illegal aliens, well, now you have a block of 40 million that's the size of the population of Canada. But people aren't thinking like that. People aren't thinking in terms of 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 200 years down the road. They're only thinking about next weekend, next election, and next term. But I'm not. So Derrick Johnson, the NAACP, come on. Come on. Come on. What are you going to do? You going to come and say, I violated your rights because I'm a Mexican American with Navajo Apache descent, and I said something about the NAACP selling out American citizens to Big Pharma and Bill Gates for a COVID-19 vaccine cover-up? Dude, everybody can see it. All the black conservatives out there, they all see it. It's just no one's had the balls to go out there and say anything about it. But I do. So come at me, Derrick Johnson. Come at me, NAACP. Come on. Come on. And I'll see you in court. And it'll be an amazing circus. Because we'll find out where your $60 million a year comes from. And we'll find out where your salary of $832,000 a year, Derrick Johnson, is going. Think I'm afraid of you? I'm not afraid of anybody. I walk with God. And there's 8 billion people on the planet, and ain't none of us getting out of here alive. So I'm going to make my mark. And I want you guys to understand that I do that for the betterment of humanity. And I do that to see our country be amazing 2,000 years from now. Not sold out to Bill Gates, Silicon Valley, and China. So with that being said, long live the Republic. God bless you and your families, and amen. And Derrick Johnson, I look forward to meeting you in person one day. Hopefully it's in a court of law and we get to sit there and look at each other and you get to go, damn, I wish I never would have messed with Andy Cortez. I wish I never would have taken any of that monies or information from old Mr. Bill Gates and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I wish I would have spoke up for the American citizens properly during the COVID-19 era. Because I know that Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are rolling over in their graves right now because you're a terrible, bad man. I said it. I'll say it again. Derrick Johnson of the NAACP as a terrible, bad man. And you're no Dr. Martin Luther King, and you're no Malcolm X. They're ashamed of you. And with that being said, God bless the USA. I love you all, and have a great day.